Ever looked at your reflection and thought, what if one day it moved before you did? Or acted different, like it had a mind of its own? I never thought about that either, until one night, it actually happened. I'm Mia. I live in this old university dorm in Boston, where the paint's peeling off the walls and every step on the floorboards creaks like they're sighing. Being an art major, I've always found beauty in old things. There's this weird comfort I get from looking at my reflection. Every morning, I'd stare into the mirror, give a small smile, and tell myself, "You got this." It was my little ritual, my way of reminding myself I was still me. My roommate, Emma, is this cheerful, chaotic soul. Our schedules are a mess. Making instant noodles at 3 a.m., freaking out over deadlines, or getting lost in random art talks has become our routine. The dorm's mirrors down the hallway are warped. Some stretch your body out, others twist your face weirdly. But I always thought it added charm, like the walls themselves held pieces of history. I never imagined that the same reflections that once comforted me would start playing tricks on my sanity. Never thought one of them would actually decide to walk away. One night, I was working on my final art project. The clock hit 2:47 a.m., and the only light in my room came from the soft yellow glow of my desk lamp. My brushstrokes were starting to blur. I was dead tired, but the pressure to finish kept me awake. I leaned back, stretched my neck, and glanced up at the mirror in front of me. Everything looked normal for a second. Then I noticed it. My reflection moved a little late. Just a split-second delay, but enough to twist something inside me. I waved my hand, and it copied me, a heartbeat too slow. My stomach dropped. I tried to laugh it off. Maybe it was the lamp flickering, or I was just overtired. The next morning, while cleaning the mirror, I wiped the glass and saw palm prints appear from the other side. Perfectly aligned with mine, just reversed. Like someone inside the mirror had touched back. I froze, but told myself, "Mia, you're just exhausted. Chill." For the next few nights, everything seemed fine. I kept telling myself it was stress, no sleep, my imagination messing around. But every morning, I noticed the mirror slightly tilted, sometimes left, sometimes right, like someone had moved it during the night. Emma laughed it off, said, "Mia, you're overthinking again." But I couldn't shake it. The reflection smile always looked off. A little delayed, a little too wide. One night, I was sitting on my bed, scrolling through my phone. The room was pitch dark except for the bluish light from my screen. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the faintest flicker in the mirror, like a quick flash. But there was no bulb, no light source. I slowly lowered my phone and looked straight at it. There I was, same messy bun, same pajamas, but something was wrong. My reflection wasn't moving. It just stood there still. And its eyes weren't looking at me. They were looking past me, deep into the mirror, like it was watching something or someone behind me. I finally decided I needed proof. Maybe I was tripping, maybe it was just bad lighting. I had to know. So I set my phone up on the desk, camera pointed straight at the mirror. Lights on. I waved, tilted my head, smiled, normal stuff. Everything looked fine. When I stopped recording, I took a deep breath and played the video back. At first, everything synced perfectly. My reflection moved right with me. I started to relax. Maybe I was just losing it. But then, the last frame hit. My reflection, or whatever that thing was, looked straight into the camera and smiled. A slow, unnatural, knowing smile. I wasn't smiling. I was dead serious, no expression. But on the screen, my reflection's lips curved upward. Just for a second. The frame froze, and I swear it felt like something inside the phone was watching me. My hand almost dropped the phone, and this cold rush shot through my whole body. The next morning felt normal. Sunlight poured through the window. Emma was packing her books. Everything seemed fine. But when I walked into the bathroom and looked at the mirror, I stopped cold. Inside the glass, there was a footprint. Not on the surface, inside. Perfectly clear, pressed from within. I called Emma. She laughed at first, said it was probably from steam. But when she touched the glass, her reflection moved a second too late. We both froze. Her reflection's eyes weren't matching her. It was looking somewhere else. Somewhere behind us. Then, out of nowhere, a cold draft brushed through the room, but the window was shut. Inside the mirror, a faint shadow flickered, like someone walking by behind the glass. But there's just a wall back there. The shadow slowly dissolved, and the mirror vibrated softly, almost like it was breathing. Emma turned away, terrified. I just stood there, realizing our reflections didn't belong to us anymore. Now I keep that mirror covered, an old bedsheet taped over it, sealed tight. At first, Emma teased me, said I was being dramatic. But even she's noticed it now. When the lights are off, you can see a faint silhouette in the curtain's reflection right across from my bed. At first, I thought it was streetlight glare, but it doesn't move. Ever. It's always there. Sometimes, around 3 a.m., I just wake up for no reason. The room's dead silent, except for the radiator hissing softly. And under that covered mirror, I see this faint flicker, like someone pressing their hand against the sheet from inside. The fabric moves, not from the air, from underneath. I don't look anymore. I just shut my eyes and pretend it's nothing. But in the mornings, sometimes there's condensation on the bottom edge of the sheet, like someone's been breathing under there. And sometimes, I swear I can feel it. My reflection's still in there. It just walked away without me. Ever heard a voice on a late-night radio that doesn't exist in the station's records? I'm Jake, a night shift radio host at this small, almost forgotten FM station on the outskirts of Chicago. My slot runs from 2 to 5 a.m., when the city's asleep and only the highway lights and distant sirens keep things alive. Honestly, this job wasn't about passion, it was about paying bills. The studio's old, peeling wallpaper, a layer of dust over the consoles, and that burnt coffee smell that never really goes away. Every night followed the same rhythm. A reheated cup of coffee, a static-filled mic check, and a lonely playlist humming in the background. Sometimes I'd get a random caller, a trucker killing time, or a college kid fighting insomnia. I'd chat with them casually, but deep down, I always felt that emptiness. I figured I was just background noise for them, a familiar voice filling their silence. But for me, that silence felt necessary. There was something oddly comforting about the static and the empty airwaves, like something unspoken was keeping me there every night. Every night was the same. I'd show up at 1:45 a.m., make my coffee, and set the playlist. The lights were dim, only the red and green console buttons glowing. Outside, the flickering streetlights and distant train horns made the perfect late-night soundtrack. My routine never changed. Read the dedications, play some slow jazz or classic rock, maybe talk to a bored caller or two. The silence used to feel heavy sometimes, but I learned to live with it. That night, though, something felt off. When the clock hit 2:47 a.m., a sharp ring broke the silence. The caller ID was blank. Usually, it showed local numbers, but this time, it was just empty. I picked up, expecting another bored listener. But what I heard instead was strange. A deep, slightly distorted voice said, "Why is your station still on?" I froze. There was static in the background, but the tone, it was calm, almost too calm. I checked the system. The transmission was marked OFF air, meaning no one could even hear us live. Yet the voice came through crystal clear. I hit mute and muttered to myself, probably just a glitch. But right then, the air in the room got heavier, thicker, like the space itself was listening. The next night felt normal, same dim yellow light, same static hum, same half-empty coffee mug. Around 2 a.m., I played the regular playlist, read a few dedications, business as usual. The studio had this weird stillness, like the walls themselves were tuned in. Around 3:02 a.m., the speakers crackled with static, sharp, quick, like last night. But this time, a calm, familiar voice came through it again. That same deep tone said, "Can you play Night Whispers by the Comets?" I froze. That song hadn't been in our system for years. It got pulled after a copyright issue. But something in me needed to know. I went to the backup room, dusty shelves stacked with old tapes. My eyes caught a faint label, Night Whispers. I popped it into the old tape player. The reel spun slowly, and that haunting melody filled the room, muffled, a little warped, like it was echoing from miles away. When the song ended, there was this faint whisper in the recording. At first, I thought it was just static, but when I listened closely, it was saying my name, Jake. At that point, I started thinking it had to be some kind of elaborate prank, maybe a former employee messing with the frequencies. The setup was old, so yeah, glitches weren't new. But this didn't feel like a glitch. The next night, I set up a small recorder near the mic, right under the console, just to capture everything. Everything was normal until around 3:14 a.m. Then, out of nowhere, a burst of static hit, sharp enough to make me flinch. And then, I heard a voice. My voice. Calm, composed, exactly how I sound live on air. This is Jake, still on the night line. But I wasn't speaking. The mic was off. The studio was silent. Yet that voice echoed like it was coming from right there. Between the static, I heard another whisper, that same deep, distorted tone from before. You never went off air. That's when it hit me. Maybe the station was still broadcasting, without me. Like another version of me was still out there, behind the mic. When I came back the next morning, the air felt wrong. The kind of silence that doesn't sound empty, just waiting. The curtains barely moved, even though the windows were locked tight. The on-air light above the console was glowing steady, but I knew I'd turned everything off before leaving. The power switch was down, yet the light was still on. I booted up the computer, and there it was, a new file on the desktop. Timestamp, 3:14 a.m. The file name read night__recording. Out of curiosity, I played it. The first few seconds were just low static. Then, my voice came through, calm, slow, hosting like always. Good night, listeners. You're still tuned to the night line, but I never said that. Then another voice faded in, the same distorted one. You're still on, Jake. Its volume climbed, layer by layer, until the static got so loud it froze the playback. For a split second, the screen glitched, and in the booth's glass reflection, I saw a dark shape standing there. The thing is, I remember that night. I was completely alone. I quit that job right after. The station shut down a few months later. They called it technical issues, but I knew better. I never went back, but sometimes, driving late at night, I pass by the old building. Every now and then, there's a faint red glow inside, same as the old on-air light. By late October, when the air turns cold and dry, I have this dumb habit. I scan through the car radio frequencies. They flip by fast, until one catches faint static, 103.7 FM. At first, it sounds dead. Then slowly, old tracks start playing. Same playlist, same soft transitions. It feels like I'm right back in that booth. And then I hear a calm male voice, my own. Good evening. You're listening to The Late Shift. The volume starts creeping up. The static gets heavier. And underneath it, a whisper, you're still on, Jake. I always shut the radio off immediately. But for a few seconds after, the static doesn't stop. It lingers, low and pulsing, like the transmission's still going. Only now, someone else is behind the mic.